Hi, football fans, and welcome to the Chatter, where this week we're going to give you some of our predictions for the first round of the NFL Draft. I'm Billy Maxwell. I'm a sports broadcasting major from TCU.
I'm Clifford Davis. I'm a sports broadcasting major from TCU as well, and a Marine veteran, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi, brother. I am not a major at any of those cool things that those guys said, but I do love talking sports, especially with these guys because they know what they're talking about. I'm happy to be here. My name's Michael, by the way.
All right, so just to get started real quick, the NFL Draft was slated to be April 23rd through 25th in Las Vegas, but with COVID-19 and everything, they had to move everything out of Las Vegas and are actually doing it remotely, relying heavily on video conferences and just phone conferences to get everything played out. They actually did a mock draft on Monday, and Adam Schefter reported that it already had glitches during the first pick with the Bengals. It wasn't the Bengals' fault, but it was a 2.5-minute dead time of just a glitch that they didn't know what the problem was. So going into that, we don't know what to expect. It's going to be very different for football. There's no sports out at all. So it's just going to be different just to see how they're going to play it out.
I'm just waiting to see someone trying to be the next Brett Favre, in those short shorts. What about you?
Well, I think it's funny. It's something new, right? I mean, I'm always intrigued. Like, what are they supposed to do? Like, are they expecting like the athletes or the players themselves? You know how they used to have the green room? Like, what are they doing? Are they going to have something where everyone's like on Zoom at the same time? Because you remember in the past, right? There was always that one guy who fell during the draft, right? He's always talked about, and you see like Lamar Jackson, even last year, right? He was the last pick of the draft, and look at him now, he's MVP. But you saw the hurt in his face. Like, are they still going to feel that same feeling if they don't get drafted, right? But they're at home with their friends and families, and maybe it's not the same. They're not in a room, with cameras all over the place, and you're getting skipped over after skipped over, and you're in there for hours and hours. So where are they going to get that chip on the shoulder? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen is, like, are you still going to have that drive to want to be better because you got skipped over, but you're doing this over the internet, right?
I'm also hearing something about they might be trying to do something to honor all the nurses and doctors out there, everybody trying to take care of everybody, putting themselves in harm's way. Just doing something special, try to recognize them. They said there's going to be like 10 minutes between each pick. So, they'll have to get time.
It'll just be interesting to see how they're going to play it out. Is it going to be in a Zoom call, kind of like what Mike was saying, where they're all just kind of in their own little box, and they cut back to it every so often. You just see the boxes, like the amount of people in the room drop, and who's going to be that last person if that's the way they go. It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out.
It's true. All right, guys. So let's get started. I think biggest topic out there for everybody: QBs. Who's the best? Who's getting drafted first? Where are they going? Who's going to be the Lamar Jackson getting in towards the end, or the last guy that's got to go wait until round 2? Right now, for me personally, I've got Joe Burrows at number 1. He's setting records, winning national titles. I think I would like to say we could all agree he's going number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going number 1. He's number 1 quarterback, number 1 selection this year.
All right. Well, for number 2, I think my number 2, I'm going to surprise you guys a little bit. I got Jalen Hurts going number 2. All right. Before you try to shut me down, hear me out, okay? Ain't nobody out there done more with their feet than he has. He has wheels, and he can truck through the other side, and he can, okay? He also has an arm, and he did part of what he did this year when CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and he still kept going. So, where do you guys stand for number 2?
It ain't Jalen. What's his name? I don't even know the guy's name. What, Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Come on now. You know his name.
Come on. All right, he started at Alabama. He got passed over, right? Or he lost his job, right? If you can't win, you can't be the starting quarterback for a prestigious college, and you have to transfer to someone who's known at, like, making quarterbacks better in his system, right? Especially with that. who was it? Baker Mayfield, right? We had what's the little guy's name? Kyler
Murray.
Murray. I mean, they had transferable quarterbacks. They've all transferred into the system, and they did really well in college. But how they transitioned to the pros? I love your mentality. And he did really, really well in that system quarterback. Even that coach has been talked about being Dallas Cowboys head coach. He's been talked about being head coach for a lot of other teams. I think you put him on you really have him on a high pedestal. But I'll back it up and I'll place a bet he doesn't get drafted in the first round. And I might even say he won't even get drafted in the second round.
I'll take the bet on the second round. I don't think he's going in the first round. To be honest, I'm with you. Like, I think there's a lot of disrespect. A lot of people don't believe in him. But I'm telling you, what other quarterback do you know that after every single game, rather than try to sing the praise of the team or what he did during that game, where is he going afterwards? He's leading by example. He's heading right back to that weight room and trying to start getting ready for next Saturday. That's what you need as a leader on the team. And that's why I got Jalen Hurts number 2.
Well, I can see the leadership potential there, but then again, I think being the second overall quarterback selected, I think that might be a little too high. I have Justin Herbert out of Oregon going as a second overall quarterback. He's a safer bet and, can play in the pro system. And I think overall he's a safer bet starting out if you want him to be a starting quarterback day one.
And then, to kind of follow up with that, I love your enthusiasm with your guy, right? He's got the leadership. I never seen any issues off the field. He's probably a great kid from a good family. He's who you want on your team. But you're taking him as a second overall quarterback. You're paying him that money in the first round. Not going to happen. It's always about Tua. Yes, you got to remember he's had some injuries in college, but in the pros, they protect quarterbacks, right? The referee, you can't touch quarterbacks these days. You touch them in the shoulder, you touch them anywhere below the waist. There's flags, there's penalties, you're getting fined, you're getting kicked out. So I think the professional league is going to protect the quarterbacks, and I think Tua is going to do really well.
So you got Tua at number 2?
I definitely think he'll be the second overall quarterback taken in the draft, right behind Joe Burrow. Well, you forgot about Joe Burrow. He's also a Heisman winning quarterback, so you forgot to give him his dues on that one. Not only did he win a national championship.
Hey, look. So let's make this clear. Then we got a 2-part bet. I bet you within the first year of actually playing, I bet you your boy won't make it through a full season without an injury. And I agree with you. Jalen Hurts isn't going to the second round. If you want to make a bet on that he goes outside the second round, I'll take that bet.
Yeah. We'll talk outside. I don't know if sports gambling is allowed here on Zoom networks, when the feds is watching, but we'll come up with stuff.
All right. For number 3, I'm right there with Billy. My next one, Justin Herbert. He's got an arm on him. He's pretty good. He's got wheels on him just the same. He's a lot bigger than the other guys. He comes in, I believe he's at 6'6". I just see him as the next one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My third overall quarterback selected is Jake Fromm out of Georgia. That might be a little too high, but from your facial expressions, that's a little too high. But you know what? That's all right. I'm going to stick with it. That SEC system, man, like he's out there always competing, regardless of what you think of the SEC, they do develop pretty decent quarterbacks. And I think this could be another potential great quarterback for any team that gets him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say I know from when we played, when Texas Longhorns, I watched them, right? There's just the college team that I follow, but when they played them in the Sugar Bowl and we stopped them, right? Beat them playing defense. But he's won a lot of games in college. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to lead. Got a lot of 4 or 5-star athletes that people looked up to him. So I'm pretty sure he's a great leader on the field. First round, I don't think it's going to be someone there's not surefire. There's like those 2 or 3 surefire quarterbacks in the first round. He's getting picked, definitely. He'll be drafted. First round, don't know. If it is, it's at the end. Someone who maybe like the Patriots or something like that. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, number 4, I'm sitting with Jordan Love. I know he had a really bad season with Utah State this last go around, but I think he has the potential to really get in there, be pretty accurate, and he's someone that I could see him or my next guy going to the Pats.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I have Jordan Love as my 4th quarterback overall being selected. He didn't have the greatest year this year, but I think his like status that he's made up to this point still gives him some respect in the regards that he should be at least considered, first, second round pick.
Yeah, you got to know about those guys who come from those weird colleges, right? Not the prestigious D1 colleges, right? I mean, you had some teams from like South Dakota State and Western Michigan, and these teams that they were not highly notable, but they end up being really well NFL quarterbacks, right? They haven't put too much toll on their body. They just were slow to develop, right? They didn't mature fast enough. Out of high school, maybe they're 6'2", 180. Now they're grown men, 6'3", 225. So yeah, I like those type of guys from Utah State and those other colleges. I think they'll be really well. I wouldn't be surprised if your pick goes first round. Absolutely, probably even before Fromm.
Yeah, I'm right there on that one. Number 5, close out the first round. Got Jacob Eason. Washington, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. He needs a little bit of development, but I think long-term wise, he's someone that you could get in there. He's not going to be your day one quarterback, but he's someone that you can get and start developing and make him who you want to be.
I actually have Tua as my 5th quarterback, and I think yes, he's had injuries, and this season wasn't he got cut short, but I think still a team's going to take a chance on him. I don't know if it should be first round, but I think he's a top 5 quarterback in that respect, just because of where he's come from, what he's done in his time at Alabama. I think he deserves to be first or second round.
Yeah, I mean, that's you guys. I mean, I had Tua higher. Easton's really good out of Washington. You didn't really hear about him. Pac-12, right? They play really late in the games with that different time zone right here in the Central Time. It's games are at midnight, and you don't get a chance to really watch them on Saturdays and things like that. But I think he'll be really good. He'll go to a good team. He'll be one of those guys like, who is this guy? Why is he so good? And you might even pick him in your fantasy football league as someone who will take over the starting job for the team he goes to. I like Jason.
Probably not until next. Give him at least one season to, get a little seasoning on him. So honorable mentions, I got a few of them. My number 1 honorable mention. You guys already mentioned him. I left him out of my top 5. He would be at my number 2 because he has really awesome throwing percentage, but his completion percentage, I think it was 71.6. The only problem with it is he's had a series of injuries, and you guys know I'm talking about Tua. He's just been injured. What are you going to do with a guy? I don't think you start him day one in the NFL. He's not going to make it through the full season. It's just not going to happen. He's going to re-injure something. It's too soon. I mean, the guy broke his hip. Come on. Like, most people be in a wheelchair. What's he out there doing playing football? I think it's pretty awesome. He's coming back the way he is. But you got to also remember, he also had a high ankle sprain. I think he pulled his groin muscle was the other one.
Yeah, but out of those, he only really missed time from the last injury, which was way more serious than the other ones. But I can see where you're going. Having an injury history is really hard to commit full time and full term to a quarterback, especially whenever you want them to be your franchise player. But with it, he hasn't missed a lot of time overall, like game wise. Granted, the last injury was towards the end of the season, but I still think he's a young guy. It's like 21, 22, so I think he can heal up, and if he does play, like, we'll see where he's at, and just I don't know if I'm going to be part of y'all's bet, but I'd be willing to see how it plays out.
Man, I'll talk about too. It's like, I mean, in college, well, you never know. I heard they'd be paying players at Alabama anyways, but you got to expect he's going to be a millionaire now. He's going to have the money to be able to take care of his body, do nutrition, eat the right food, have one of those cryo chambers or whatever that he can do whatever he can do to make sure that after each and every game, his body is 110%, right? They take care of them. They pay these athletes, these players so much money to make sure they don't get injured. And as I mentioned before, right, I mean, the rules and protecting the quarterbacks, I mean, nicks and knacks, everyone plays, right? I mean, everyone has some injuries. It's just about if you can go through hip injury. In Alabama, you always hear about best on best. I mean, these guys are going full speed because they want to be picked to be first round draft pick. So, and then any team that plays against Alabama, they want to give their 150%, right? So they're going for they're trying to beat them. Maybe they go for their legs, they go for their ankles, they go for their hips and things like that. In pros, there's a little bit more of a gentleman's sport. I don't think they're going to be attacking Tua's legs and things like that unless it's playoff games or whatnot. But I'm looking forward to the bet. We'll see what happens here in the next 2 years on that.
All right. And to close out my honorable mentions, I got Jake Fromm in there because, I mean, he's a tough guy. He's been tested in the SEC. I've also got Kelly Bryant of Mizzou, also been SEC. Mizzou, not necessarily had the caliber of team as like Alabama or Georgia or Oregon or Oklahoma, So you have to really look at like the way he's played and then just look at what he's had around him. I think he's going to come out a lot better once he gets into the NFL. And then a surprise I got for you, Cole McDonald, Hawaii. Okay? Cole McDonald, go look up Cole McDonald and what he did. That guy has thrown for over 4,000 yards this season. Problem a lot of people say with him is he's really dangerous with his passing, right? He's willing to throw it down the field, and I'm telling you, there are teams that are looking for somebody who's not afraid to throw it down the field, because especially if you got one of those burner wide receivers or a running back that can just get out there, hey, look, if you can get it down the field, I'll catch it, right? Isn't that what a couple of them say? I think that's what Cheetah says. Just throw it up there. I got it.
With the quarterback out of Hawaii, that's the Mountain West. That defense probably isn't the same as, the NFL caliber. I'm not trying to, smoke your guy, but, I don't.
Hold on.
Tell him that was a bad Hawaii. They're playing against 5'8", 160-pound defensive backs. I mean, come on. I think Hawaii, really? If I'll be surprised. I'm not surprised at 4,000 yards. If he was throwing 6,000 yards, okay, then I'd be like, all right, maybe you have some. But 4,000, anybody could throw 4,000 in that type of conference with 5'8" defensive backs. Come on, man.
Okay, but
what's after honorable mention?
Go look at his numbers from the combine. Go look at his numbers from the combine and just see where he ranks amongst everybody else. Again, like Kelly Bryant, you got to think about he threw for over 4,000 yards with the team he had around him. He didn't have Judy. He didn't have Ruggs. He didn't have a CeeDee Lamb, but he still got the yards. I mean, you gotta give him the respect for that. Of like, yeah, hey, maybe he's from Hawaii, but still, you got to look more into it. Like his combine, just numbers are just he's there, man. I think he's gonna be. He even could be the Pats surprise pick for new quarterback. Hey, get some guy who can throw it this time. Maybe get it past 10 yards.
Not in the first round.
No, it'd be like the 6th round, but like he's going to somebody.
We'll see. I mean, every year a lot of quarterbacks do get picked. There's about 10, 12 quarterbacks every year, right? You need to continue to have a new rotation of young guns in there. So is he getting drafted? Maybe, right? We'll see. I'm excited. Okay, so I feel quarterbacks, we've been talking a lot about them. I would say next, what's more important? It's all about flashy things. I think maybe we can start talking about wide receivers. Now, it's always it's a wide receiver. It's really loaded. I think a whole bunch of wide receivers can go in the first round. I think a lot of teams do need wide receivers because that's how you score points, right? You give it to your guys who make plays, and getting out to your wide receivers, put them in space, make them make plays. They're going to score touchdowns. You have your. I always like to want the discussion of who you feel that's going to go. Is it going to be Judy from Alabama, CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma? I think those two are pretty much the top two in the entire draft. Now there's a whole bunch of slew of good athletes who can take the top off the field, but I think the discussion really is who's going to go first, whether it's Jerry or CeeDee. Me personally, I hate to say it, but I've seen CeeDee Lamb destroy, my Texas Longhorns. I mentioned it before, and that dude, I think in the two or three games that I've seen him play, he probably, I kid you not, maybe 1,000 yards, maybe 5 touchdowns. Who knows? I maybe even shorten him a couple of touchdowns, but he's a beast. I give him that. And then Jerry with Alabama. I mean, he's come from a pretty much a lineage of Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley. He's in the same mode as those guys. So if you think those 3 guys who are in the pros, Jones, Cooper, and Ridley, are pretty badass, then Judy's going to be right there with them. So it's kind of who you want. You want someone who's kind of like a do-it-all like Lamb, or Judy who's just a great route runner who's got stickums on his hands and is going to always be there game in and game out. Well, what do you guys think?
I have number one wide receiver is Jerry Jeudy. Coming out of Alabama, that just the lineage of like great receivers, like you were saying with Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. It just they develop wide receivers down in Alabama. And, there's nothing to say that, Jerry Jeudy isn't going to be amazing. He had a great season with Alabama playing against, the people argue as like the best defensive, conference in SEC. So there's no reason why he wouldn't have a great NFL career and be the first overall wide receiver selected.
All right. Yeah. Y'all are going to hate me for this. Okay. All right. I want you to remember now, 2018, right? Jeudy have a, meniscus surgery. In that where we went with it, he had a meniscus surgery, right? As someone who personally has had 3 meniscus surgeries, guess what? It gets worse with time. I think longevity-wise, like he starts off, he's going to be great. But as he goes on through the years, he's not going to have longevity as some of the others, CeeDee Lamb and Ruggs. For me personally, I got Ruggs number 1. Again, Jeudy outshined him through the season, but if you look at the combine numbers, there's no way you could put Jeudy in front of Ruggs. Look at what Ruggs can do. Ruggs is faster. Ruggs can jump higher. He just outshines Jeudy all the way. Period.
You know what? I mean, they're teammates, right? They always compete, but the thing is, it's like with Ruggs, I guess they kind of classify him as someone similar to the what's the Chiefs wide receiver? What, Cheetah? What's his guy?
Oh, it's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. Hopefully, it's not the same off the field as Tyreek Hill, but you can't go wrong with one of those guys who's fast as hell and just catch the ball. But there's a reason why Jeudy got more catches, more yards, more touchdowns, because he's the better wide receiver.
Again, I'll differ with you. Who'd you have for your second, you said?
So my second, yeah, you want me to say it, right? So CeeDee Lamb, first and foremost, that dude's a beast. I think even Oklahoma, again, you always talk about that system, but the thing with the system, those quarterbacks, right, they're a little bit different breed, but the wide receivers, especially in the Big 12 in that conference, the wide receivers that get pumped out of that conference, majority of those boys are correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure CeeDee Lamb probably played high school football in Texas, right? So them Texas boys, them playing them high school football, I mean, they seem to transition really well into the pros. But, I do have CeeDee Lamb going number 2, probably really high. Jeudy, there's a lot of there's a lot of teams that need wide receiver, but it's either one of those 2 guys. It just depends on who the GM wants, right? And you're talking about injury, so we'll see what goes on with those 2. For the next one, really, Justin Jefferson from LSU, right? Don't really know where he's going to go, to which team, right? Because I don't think he's going top 5 or top 10 in the draft, but he's definitely getting picked in the first round. That dude is just like the lineage of all the other LSU wide receivers in the past, right? Those dudes are just beasts. I mean, they're born to play football. They catch balls. They run fast. They score touchdowns, and they're flashy. And you like that type of that spark on your team, right? Someone who they can put on their back and be like, hey, just give me the ball. Give me the ball, and I'm gonna make plays, coach. And I think he's just like that. Where's he going? What team's going to pick him? I don't know. Maybe the Eagles, unlike Aguilar, right? Aguilar can't catch, but Justin Jefferson can. We'll see if that happens. That's why I have number 3. What do you guys think?
I actually
pick 2 and 3. I'm right there with you. I got CeeDee Lamb and I got Justin Jefferson. CeeDee Lamb, like you said, he just burns people. Like you can't hide him. The team's better when he's on the field. It's just top 4 are so close that you're nitpicking trying to find differences between them. All 4 of them are really good. I got Justin Jefferson, number 3. You can't separate him from Burrows. What Burrows did, he wouldn't have done without Jefferson. He was a safety net. Let's just be clear about it. That's what it was.
Yeah, I agree. I have CeeDee Lamb at 2, and then Justin Jefferson at 3. I think that's the first 2 picks that we've kind of agreed on for this whole thing. But
besides Burrows.
Oh yeah, besides Burrows, but that was kind of a give me. I do think that Justin Jefferson's going to be great. First round talent, definitely. Probably, I see him top 20, probably more than likely, just because of other team needs that other teams need, obviously. But he's going to be a great like a number 2 wide receiver for going out the gate, and potentially number 1.
Yeah, no. So it seems all to be right around, other than Mr. Ruggs over here picking first. I don't know where he came at it. So you know what, Cliff? Let me see. So you would pick Ruggs over Lamb and Jefferson? That's what you were saying, right? You did cut off, so I didn't get it.
Yep, absolutely. I got Ruggs. So I've got Ruggs number 1, CeeDee number 2. I've got Jefferson number 3, and then I got Judy number 4. I pushed 4 only because of his injury. Like I said, like you're nitpicking between those 4. Like you get one of those 4, it's going to be great. You're going to be happy. The only thing is longevity wise, meniscus doesn't get better with time. You can't heal it. You can't. You could replace it. There are those type of surgeries. I didn't do it, but it can happen. But as time goes on, it tears down more. He is not going to have, with a meniscus injury, he's just not going to have the longevity that someone like Ruggs or Lamb are going to have.
Yeah, it's those weird things, right? You're talking about your quarterbacks from Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, and then we talked about their quarterbacks before this, right, with Alabama and Tua, and then Hurts for a little bit, right, in Oklahoma with Hurts, right, and then LSU with Burrows, right? So it's like there's got to be some fine line. It's like, all right, is it the quarterback because the quarterback's so good, right? The wide receivers are playing badass, or are the wide receivers that damn great that making the quarterbacks look good? That's always, you never really know what's going to transition to the new level when they all separate and they're playing different teams, and we'll really figure out like who made who, right? So I think they kind of fed off each other, right? It's always good to have a quarterback and you have a wide, QB1 and a wide receiver 1, right? And you work as a tandem, and I think they all got each other paid. So I think 10 years from now, when they're all sitting on millions and, smoking cigars and living in lavishly big old homes and things like that, they'll probably still be shit talking and say who made who. So I think that's pretty neat who we're talking about. These top 2 or 3 quarterbacks are the same top 2 or 3 wide receivers in the draft as well. So that's cool. So for the next one, right, it's weird. I did have I had Ruggs as Alabama as number 4. I know you had him going number 1, oddly, but yeah, again, you're right. Top 4, you can't go wrong. They're all great wide receivers. They're going to make any team that falls to them happy. They're going to score a lot of touchdowns. You don't really see too much history, right, where the wide receivers are transition game right off the gate, right? So normally that 3rd year where you really see them kind of really take off, unless they're just like that star number 1, and they're going to end up being future Hall of Fame picks. I kind of want to round it out. I know it's kind of a different quarterbacks. Everyone likes to talk quarterbacks a little bit longer because they're the face of the franchise. But when it's wide receivers, T. Higgins from Clemson, right? And then got to talk about y'all guys' boy Rager, right, from TCU.
Yeah, Boldy.
I feel, I mean, he along with the Big 12 conference. I mean, he has a chance, depending on how many teams really need wide receivers. He may sneak into that first round. I feel it. He's had some success from all the other conference quarterbacks that did really well. If he doesn't go first, I believe he's going day 2, absolutely, or second round.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I got Jalen Rager as my 5th wide receiver. You know, I might be a little biased, a little high, but you know, he over combine and just everything, he's really helped his draft stock a lot since the season. And you know, I can see him going, you know, maybe sneaking into the first round, but definitely second round. And any team's going to be lucky to have him as a slot receiver. You know, he has great route running ability and can find a way to get open. And you know, there are some issues on, you know, how reliable he can be in times, but you know, who can have over 1,000 yards receiving with 3 different quarterbacks, being like, you know, having to, you know, catch from 3 different quarterbacks. And I think that kind of shows just how great he is, you know, and you know, that's why I think he's going to be top 5 quarterback or wide receiver selected.
Oh, shoot. I got someone else in my top 5 closing it out. I've got Denzel Mims from Baylor, actually. You guys watched his combine? The dude's got some wheels on him, man. You look at what Baylor did. You can't separate what Baylor did. You take Mims out of that, Baylor wouldn't have been there. It wasn't possible for him. I'm not saying he was the only one, but he was one of the biggest parts to it. For that, like, I mean, on the other side of it, for honorable mentions, I really got Chase Claypool, Notre Dame. He's definitely a good one. I think that he could really get chased after. I got Donovan People-Jones from Michigan. I got your boy T. Higgins from Clemson. I got my next one from Liberty, okay? I know, small school, but Antonio Gandy Golden. Look him up. I'm telling you, he's going to be a surprise. Maybe second, third round. That's where I see him going. And then Arizona State, Brandon Ayuk. I think that's how you say his name, Brandon Ayuk. But I think Arizona State, like, he's going to go in there too.
Yeah, I mean, you're naming quarterback. I mean, wide receivers, what names you can't pronounce. So, I mean, they'll probably end up getting drafted. Who knows? But I mean, it tells you something because you ain't seen a lot of highlights from them, right? You didn't see them on the ESPNs. You didn't see a lot of game film, at least like getting portrayed, like in where you can see them on TV. But you're right. It's always those guys that you never hear of, right? From schools you don't even know where they're at on the map that really do really well. I do remember Mike Colston with the Saints. I don't know if you guys recall him back in the days, but he came from like Holsfa or something from like in the middle of nowhere, but he ended up being Drew Brees' like #1 target for like 3 straight years, made a bunch of millions. And I think he played like, I don't even know what D program it is, but can't believe he ain't giving no love for Rager, man. I mean, I like how Billy was talking about he's gone thrown from 3 different quarterbacks. He plays in the slot position, which is coveted in the NFL, right? So that's all about timing. So if he can time himself with 3 straight quarterbacks, you best believe he's going to be an asset to an NFL team. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to be really, really well. I have no reason. I'm clueless of why you don't have no faith in him. You didn't even have him in your honorable mention. You didn't even mention him.
Hey, hold on. I think he's going to go first 2 rounds. Point blank. Think he's going to go first 2 rounds. But I have a problem with some of the drops he had. You know, he had some shaky hands at times, especially when he's getting like a punt return, kick return. Been there at the games, watched it happen, and I'm just shaking my head. Why? You know, he's had some issues there. And like you said, maybe I'm seeing more of certain people than other people. I mean, we all do. Like, we all have our conferences that we have loyalties to. But that being said, those drops have me worried about him. I still think he's going second, third round, maybe even possibly first round. But those drops got me worried. And again, my picks, my choice.
And, I'll jump on that. You're talking about punt returns and kick returns, man. I don't believe that's what he's going to be doing in the NFL, right? Maybe. Who knows? But they play – that's
Someone got to catch the ball.
Well, I'm telling you, with those type of players, if you're a coach in college, you got to put your athlete, your best player, you normally put him in that position to want to make plays for you. So that's why he's back there catching punts, because he's the best player. He's the best athlete on the team. Okay, all right, he's dropped a couple of catches. Hopefully it's not in like dire needs when your team's behind and needs a touchdown. I can understand why you would hate him and want to grit your teeth, right? Especially if he caused an opportunity for your team to win. But, I mean, you got to – if you're putting someone in that position, he's a really good player. I mean, you can. Maybe he's tired. Dang, you have him playing wide receiver. What? Did you probably have him playing defense? He's probably, I mean, dang, you got him doing everything. Maybe he's doing a multi-sport athlete. Is he doing anything else in football? I mean, is he playing basketball? Is he playing intramural softball with the ladies? You never know. I mean, I don't hate on Jalen. I'm looking forward to seeing, because TCU has always had some good wide receivers. And then you mentioned Mims with Baylor, and you're right. Baylor's has pumped out some good wide receivers, but you got to also know that coach, who's now an NFL coach, you don't think he had a lot to do with that program and a lot to do with what was going on with the offense and the defense? So, I mean, now he's with the Panthers, right? The coach is. Yeah. So we'll see what Mims do. He got some current NFL tutelage. So yeah, you're right. I like the Mims pick. We'll see. I think he'd do really well as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. All right, Coach Patterson, he's got the entire team on lockdown, man. He has them just making them do drills, keeping them in line. He's a great coach. You can't go wrong going through TCU. I like him, but you can't deny the fact that he had that many drops. That's what hurts him in my eyes. I like him. I wish I could say, hey, he in my top 5, no doubt. But those drops are the reason why I got him out.
I mean, he might have drops, but he also has an explosive ability to change the game. And, it's kind of give and take. No one is a complete overall great talent. Someone has something they can always work on and get better. But I still think it's worth the risk of getting him into the first, second round, because he can change a game. There's times where he was doing punt and kick returns, and he would go with the distance and turn the whole momentum around. He did that time and time again. Even as a freshman in the Alamo Bowl, it was like a 90-yard touchdown pass, that completely shifted momentum, and TCU ended up winning that game. So he has a lot of explosive ability, and I think that teams will see that and just see his ability of route running, and we'll take a chance. You can always work on drops.
Yeah. Got those little extra sticky gloves. I don't know. There's always some rumors.
Might have to send them some glue.
You got to always remember, they also are playing for millions. So you don't think they're going to be playing he's in college, right? You're getting an education, and you're living off food stipends. There's co-eds that you're chasing around, right? Maybe his mind's not into it. But now that he's a professional athlete, I think he'll be really well.
Oh, trust me. Coach Patterson ain't going to have anybody on that team that ain't thinking football, that ain't thinking about that game. He's got their minds right. Again, like I said, I ain't trying to disrespect him. I ain't trying to look him over or anything like that. I think there's a good chance he could end up going towards the end of the first round. But, I don't see him going any later than the third round. It's just I have him out simply because those drops, and that's it.
So who you think's going first? Is it Jalen Hurts, or is it going to be Jalen Reagor? How about that with the battle of the Jalens? Who's going first? What do you think?
Oh, shoot.
That's a bet right here.
I want to say that someone's going to surprise, and Jalen Hurts is going to go early second round. And I think our other favorite Jalen isn't going too far behind him.
All right, so you guys heard that, right? So the battle of the Jalens, he has Hurts before Reagor. All right, I think it's going to be flip-flop. I think Rager's going before Hurts, and yeah. We'll Zoom shake on that one. We'll figure something out after, but that's what it is.
All right, now that we've talked a little bit about quarterbacks and wide receivers, let's kind of dive deep into some specific teams, starting with the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are they doing? Like, just to start off blatantly, they kind of started out completely. Their whole defense is just wiped. They've lost Jalen Ramsey to a trade. AJ Bouye and Calais Campbell is gone, along with that's all at the moment. But they have Yannick Ngakwe. He posted on Twitter that he was, kind of done with being a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars and was having some beef with his owner. And, it's just a whole lot of, uncertainty there with the defensive line. And, they have the 9th and 20th pick, which I kind of see them going on defense just because that's the part of that's a part of the team that's most weak right now. And I see them getting the defensive tackle out of Auburn, and his name's Derek Brown going to the 9th pick, and then with the 20th, I see them getting Christian Fulton, cornerback out of LSU.
Yeah, don't forget. I mean, they're also trying to shop Fournette too. They've been doing that for a while, and they're not getting no takers. So, I mean, I don't know. Are they going to release him as a free agent? For 9th,
if they release Fournette, that dude ain't gonna be on the wire too long. He's getting scooped up. That dude can ball. I mean, I think he's had some injury issues, right? I mean, he's a big boy. That's the thing. But if they're not just getting rid of him without – the Jags do need some help. I don't know what the heck's going down there in Florida. All those teams are kind of just like – you know what? Florida in general during COVID, aren't they opening these beaches? They need to solve that entire damn state. I don't know what's going on. They can just be their own little country, the country of Florida, and they can have their own little NFL down there. So all them teams is wild. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I mean, hey, look, I agree with you. I don't know what's going on down there, but, but I got Javen Kinlow going out of South Carolina. I got him going 9th. And then for the 20th pick, I've got Gross Matos from Penn State. I got him going on their 20th pick.
Okay.
That Penn State guy I didn't do no much research on that, but he's a linebacker. Penn State's known as him.
He's an edge.
Okay, so defense, right? Still, yeah. Jags definitely need some defense. That they need all the defensive help they can get. I mean, they on history have been known as defense, but lately they've kind of dropped off. So they need to get back to what made them really, really good and defense.
Well, I mean, like, if they have a season next year, if we're gonna have a season in 2020, the Jags right now, the way everything's playing out, I mean, it looking like they just might be looking for pick number 1 for 2021.
So they'll get Sunshine from Clemson?
They might. I mean, I think they might be pulling a Miami.
Just tank it back.
Just another one of those Florida teams.
Florida. Tell you. Florida, man.
All right. So let's move on. We got Miami. So let's talk Miami, all right? So Miami went through a hell of a rebuild. They pissed off a lot of their players. You could tell they were trying to tank the team. Everyone was questioning what was going on. And then somehow they start getting their act together, and the JV team starts beating some varsity teams, surprisingly. I think, didn't they beat the Pats last year?
Well, it was like one of those fluke last where, remember?
They always have a fluke against the Patriots. You can't keep calling it a fluke when Miami keeps whooping your ass.
Well, the Patriots, they keep it as it's just a bye week to them. Whatever, we'll take the L. We're still going to be there at the end. So
yeah, we're still going to the playoffs.
We're gonna go down to Miami, enjoy. We'll fucking eat some Cubanos and hang out with the Latinas on Miami Beach, whatever. That's a vacation to them. Yeah, they always probably get beat, but do they go up and win in New England? Doubt it.
All right, so the big thing out of them right now is the question. There's been a lot of talk about them taking Tua first. There's been a little chatter about them going for Justin Herbert instead, which if they stay at number 5, which I'm expecting they will, I'm expecting them to go for Oregon, Justin Herbert. That's number 5. Number 18, I got them going for McKee Beckon out of Louisville, offensive line. They give him some cover. And then for number 26, I got them going for wide receiver Chase Claypool out of Notre Dame.
You know, with Miami, it's like one of those. Do you think they are gonna? Should they draft a quarterback first? Because I'm on to the fact that Tua is injury prone, right? Or Herbert, whoever's there, right? Because Burrow's gone. But what about Cam Newton? What about Andy Dalton? The guys are getting replaced. Phillip Rivers, does he still got some juice? Did he get drafted? I don't know about Phillip Rivers.
No, Phillip Rivers. Did he go to the Colts or the Titans?
He's on the Colts.
Okay. It's like, and he's going to start there. I mean, he's up until like really last year, he's pretty consistent. I mean, he's the most winning quarterback that's never actually won a title. So,
yeah, I feel bad for him. I mean, I thought the Chargers always had a really good team, but there was just something that was missing. There was always something that was missing with that team. So, I mean, I hope he does well. But I'm saying, does Miami have to go quarterback in the draft? I mean, why not pick up someone who's been notable winner? Isn't Cam Newton a Heisman winner? He's been to the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, he has some head injuries, right? I mean, but why not try to get
injuries in general?
That's head injuries. Who knows what happens? So,
yeah, I have to go with them getting a quarterback with their first pick and Justin Herbert. Like I'm right there with you, Cliff. Like same boat. Other picks, they got a lot of picks this whole rest of the season to rebuild, and I think you could kind of look at it as a whole that they need a new team for the most part with a lot of depth. And I think a lot of people on that team already are beginning to really trust that coach and really fall behind his methods. And, I think they'll be a little better this year than this last season. They definitely won't be tanking and rebuilding.
Yeah, I think it would be a mistake to take Tua because of his injury prone. They don't have the line to protect him. If you take Tua, he's definitely out in the first season. Like he's going to get injured. It's going to happen. If you take Justin Herbert, you're going to have a little bit more. He can move around a lot better. He's a lot bigger. The guy can throw a lot further. I see more happening if they take Justin Herbert, and I don't see them losing a quarterback in the middle of the season if they go that route. I think smart move would be to take Tua, the next pick from the Chargers. I think that's going to be their pick.
Good. Well, I mean, whatever you said was perfect. It's weird about the Miami. You want them to do well, right? Especially those vacation destination cities, right? It's always a party down there, but that's the thing. It's like they have the resources. Why not start winning football games? I mean, I don't think people take football serious. College football, yes, but NFL football, you always hear about Miami and their depleted stadiums and fans not watching, and the Jags just not caring. The Tampa Bay Bucks, different now. Tampa Bay Patriots, but we'll see. I like it. We'll see. I think so. Yeah, quarterback depth. But don't be surprised if they pick someone off the waiver wire, right? Andy Dalton, especially if Joe Burrow gets picked number 1. Expect the Andy. Watch, bet, Zoom bet.
We'll talk after. I'll definitely carry that one. Andy Dalton ain't going to Miami. All right, so want to go on to the next one then?
Yeah, so the next one we guys got Vikings, right? We'll go ahead and get out of Florida man area. Vikings has always been that team, right? Don't you believe that they're always playoff caliber a team. They're always at the end. They sneak about you. They always been well. I think they're really, really well coached. You got Mike Zimmer. He's a defensive-minded coach, and that's what wins championships. It's all about defense. So his team has always been about tough football, causing turnover, the ball back, scoring points. That's what you want in a coach. Someone who's going to get in your behind if you're doing anything wrong. They have 2 picks in the first round. They just got released. They traded Stephon Diggs, right? Their star wide receiver. So they're definitely going wide receiver. And we did brief on talk. Well, we didn't say brief. We lengthily talked about wide receivers. I think for sure they're going to pick up one of those 4 guys that we were talking about, right? Judy's gone. Lamb's then. I know you had Ruggs going first or something like that. I don't know. That's awkward. But Jefferson, Ruggs, Higgins from Clemson, those 3 guys should be available. I believe the Vikings are going to pick up. If Jefferson happens to slide there, they're definitely picking up them at the 22nd spot. They also have the 25th pick. Again, defense. It's either one of those 2. They're either picking defense for the 22nd pick. They're picking defense for the 25th pick. But they're definitely getting a wide receiver. They're going defender. Kirk Cousins as a quarterback, he definitely needs that help. So I think wide receiver is there. What are you guys thinking?
I have to agree with the 22nd pick going with Justin Jefferson. I don't know what they're trying to do with getting rid of Stephon Diggs. I don't know what type of moves they're trying to make. But they definitely need a receiver, going in to help Kirk Cousins out because Lord knows he needs it. And then 25th pick, I see him defense, maybe like a defensive back, something like that. They just need more help defensively because who's a safety for the Vikings?
David McKinney from Alabama.
No.
I hope the Cowboys.
Xavier Rhodes. He's had some troubles lately. So I think they need to help with the defensive backs.
Well, I mean, they definitely were trying to make some cap space. So I don't know. I mean, they didn't really go after anyone on the offseason. So I'm kind of confused about that. But with Diggs being gone, they need a number 2. And I'm right there with you guys. I've got T. Higgins going number 22. That's the slot for him. And joining him at number 25, I got a fellow Clemson, A.J. Terrell. I believe he's going to be their number 25th pick.
That's a good choice because that's the thing. He's a really, really good quarterback. To be honest, I don't even think he'll even last that long. I hope my Cowboys will pick him up or the Alabama strong safety, but I hope he's not there. But if he happens to be there, that's a great pick. Absolutely. Good choice.
Now let's kind of shift gears to some would say the most hated team, the New England Patriots. They have the 23rd pick this year. They didn't re-sign Brady. He went down to Tampa. Just recently traded Gronk to the Buccaneers. A lot of people are thinking they might go quarterback, not having one. They have Jarrett Stidham coming up from the ranks, and I think they're going to rely on him from the future. At least that's what it seems like. I think they're going linebacker or tight end with their first-round pick, just because Bill Belichick, I don't think he's going to draft a quarterback first round. There's at the 23rd pick, there's no one at that caliber that's left that's going to be like a Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Like those guys are going to be long gone. So I see if they're going to get a quarterback, it'll be later in the draft, like around 6, like when they got Brady.
So for them, I disagree with you. Okay, Stidham, I don't think's their guy. I think they might be trying to make him out their guy, and he might be their guy for a little bit to start off because Belichick is smart. He's not going to put someone out there that doesn't know the system, that doesn't know the playbook. It's just not going to happen. So I think he's going to do one of 2 things. He's either going quarterback or he's going wide receiver. Because guess what? It don't matter if you throw Stidham out there or somebody else. If they don't got no one to throw to, what's going to happen? Right now they got Edelman. Who else they got? So I've got Jacob Eason being a surprise pick from the Pats, finally going with a first-round quarterback. Or I got T. Higgins if he isn't picked on the 22nd pick, or Justin Jefferson if he's still there.
Pats ain't going wide receiver. Dude, without Tom Brady, I don't know how that franchise is gonna stay afloat. It was always Tom Brady. It's never Bill Belichick. They always gave Bill Belichick the what praise? What do you call it? I don't know. We'll see. What? Drew Bledsoe, that was the last quarterback before Tom Brady, and then who else? Can we all name a quarterback before Drew Bledsoe?
Not successful anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of backups.
You know, but the backups, right? The backups did get drafted, right? You have Garoppolo playing for the Niners.
Mhm.
The other guy that went to the Colts. He did all right. He's not replaced it luck. I mean, he's not winning Super Bowls,
Well,
but
that's what I'm saying. Like for right now, Stidham's just an intermediate quarterback. He's there until Belichick gets Easton up to par. Once he's there, once he has him where he wants it, he's going to switch quarterbacks out.
you know what? I think we might be sleeping on Stidham. I know he's one of those Texas boys. I think he played at Baylor. So you know what? Hey, we'll see what he can do. He may be that next guy who goes for the next 15, 20 years. Bill, I'm talking down on Bill. Who knows, man? He's about to shut my mouth up. He'll probably still. I mean, his conference. Who they play? They play what? The Bills. They play the Colts. Well,
Miami. They got Miami. Okay, who they can't ever beat, or like they beat them half the time, and then surprisingly get their ass kicked the other. You got was it Miami? You got the Bills, who I don't think anyone's going to disagree right now. You throw Diggs on the Bills. Bills are the new head of that. Like, forget the Pats. The Bills are going to run the show. And then it doesn't even matter who else is there. The Bills got it.
What is one other team? You get.
Don't worry about them.
Jets. Yes, the Jets.
There's a reason why I left them out. I don't even think their coach is all there.
And I hope their strong safety wants to leave. God dang, I want him so bad.
For the Cowboys.
Yes.
Hey, maybe Bell, if Bell picks it up this year, they get a little better line on the Jets. I don't know. Maybe they could do something. But, I mean, they got to work on the quarterback situation, making sure he's got some good wide receivers and that he's actually accurate this year. He's had problems with his accuracy. I know he's out of Southern California, but Sam Darnold, I didn't think highly of him back. I thought he had issues with turnovers even in college. So I don't know where they're going to go with it. Hand Bell the ball and block for him. Like throw Darnold in front of Bell and just let it Darnold's not a small guy. He could block for Bell.
Darnold's a beast, man. He's from San Clemente. He's a South OC boy. Played for USC, but he played during USC when they weren't the normal USC. So you can't harp him on that. He's got the skills. 5-star quarterback. He's got a live arm. He's big. I think 6'5", 230. He's playing in the northeast of the United States. You know how cold it is right now over there? What is it? We're in, what are you, April? I'm pretty sure it's like 40 degrees over there. He's got to be tough-skinned. So, you got Le'Veon Bell. You got Stephon Diggs. And you're going to draft someone really, really high because that's just what you do. I just hope they get rid of that strong safety. That's me. We'll be fine. I think are the Pats still the team in that conference? Or you think the Bills?
I got to go with – I think the Bills have taken over. I mean, the Bills were already kind of doing really well this last season. I mean, and just adding extra weapons. They're still pretty much a complete team, and the Patriots are keep losing players. So, Tom Brady made the Patriots. So I think they'll definitely be struggling to even make the playoffs this coming up season.
Are the Patriots even the Patriots now? I mean, in there the new Patriots.
I would say Tampa Bay is probably the new Patriots. Bringing it back down to Florida.
They're going to end up having to change the logo, get a little little face on that Buccaneer, you know.
It's the Tampa Patriots Bay Buccaneers. That's
Well, I mean, like, since we got the new Pats, right? I mean, where do you guys think? What do you think they need? They got a number 14 pick. That's where they're going.
I see them getting an edge rusher. Let me see if I just want to make sure I pronounce his name right. Golovin Chasen out of LSU. You know,
I think it's a Kavion Chasen. Yeah, I know him really well. He's a Texas boy as well, and he spurned the Longhorns. He went over to LSU. Kavion Chasen. Yeah, no, he's good. As much as I hate to say it, he's a really good player. I think the Pats would be perfect.
You mean not the Pats? Remember, we're on the new Patriots. Okay.
Oh,
we're talking about the Buccaneers here.
Oh, we're talking about Tampa Bay now. We're back in Florida. Florida, man.
They always bring us back, man.
So we're back to Florida. Okay. All right. No. Tampa Bay, it's always championships. If you got Tom Brady, you got Gronk, you got Mike Evans, you got Godwin, you got your offense set. Build that defense. Win some championships.
Well, with that, like, I mean, like, you got your offense stacked, right? I think really what they need, some people on the line, and they need a running back. That's what they need. I mean, they still need some defense, but you start getting a high-powered offense, or sorry, not an even higher power offense, because wide receivers were already there. I'm expecting them to either get Becton out of Louisville or Josh Jones out of Houston. And I think that is either one of those guys would really help them out. All right. Well, guess we're done with the new Pates. Let's move on to the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. So we know Josh Jacobs, right? Man, that guy came out of nowhere. I think that's how you beat me in fantasy last year, wasn't it, Mike?
Josh Jacobs, I mean, he was a beast, but it wasn't him. It was Marlon Mack from the Colts. That was my guy that I wrote.
Okay.
But,
well, I mean, Jacobs put the Raiders on his back last year. He really did. He did most of the work. Carr's been struggling. I mean, Gruden, I know he says Carr's his guy, but I just can't see him sticking with Carr very much longer if Carr can't get his act together. They are building a pretty good team there, but they need someone that can throw the ball and throw it reliably, you know? So with that being said, this is where my two surprise picks come in, okay? My two picks that you guys don't agree with from my quarterbacks and my wide receivers, this is where they come in, okay? At number 12, I've got Henry Ruggs going to the Las Vegas Raiders, okay?
The first wide receiver?
Hey, I'm not saying he'll be the first one out the door. I actually think someone's going to pick CeeDee Lamb before him, and I think we're also going to see Judy go before him as well. But I think we'll see Ruggs sticking around the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't see why they wouldn't pick him, right? And then at number 19, big surprise, I think Gruden is going with Jalen Hurts.
Number 19, Jalen Hurts.
Number 19.
Jesus. You told me before, even in this whole message, you said, no, I don't think he's going in the first round, but now he's going in the first round.
Hey, like I said, I think highly of Jalen Hurts. I think there's a lot of people that don't give him the respect that he really should, like you two, you know, just clowning on the guy. But, like, I mean, you have to look at it. The way Gruden plays football, the way he coaches, that would be his guy. I just see Jalen Hurts fits the Gruden mentality.
Billy, what, no. dude.
So I can agree with you that they're going to take a wide receiver with the 12th overall pick, but I got Jerry Jeudy, man. Like he's going to be the first receiver taken, and it's going to be the 12th overall pick with the Las Vegas Raiders. And Jalen, if they're going to take a quarterback, I don't think it's going to be Jalen Hurts that early. I think they would take a chance on Tua before Jalen.
I don't think Tua will be there.
You think Tua is going to go early?
I think Herbert's going to go, or Herbert's he's going to Miami, and you're going to see
the Chargers. Chargers take Tua.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Chargers take Tua.
I think Raiders kind of need help on defense too, though. So I could get behind you on the 12th pick going, receiver, different person, but offense, and then 19th pick, something on the defensive side of the ball. They kind of they got rid of Khalil Mack 2 years ago. Don't really know why, and then they need more pressure on the defense. Just instead of getting smoked up every game.
No, I'm with Billy. I mean, Jalen Hurts. You know what? This is what's going to happen. The Raiders are going to sit. They're not. You know what? I believe you. The Raiders will get Jalen Hurts, but it's probably going to be in the third round. Tell you that. That 19th pick, yeah, definitely defense. I think maybe someone from the LSU, one of those ball hawking safeties back there. That 19th pick is perfect for one of those guys. Number one, they need a wide receiver. They need someone, either if it's going to be Derek Carr to throw them passes, definitely wide receiver. That second pick's got to be someone on defensive ball. Someone, exactly. LSU, mark it down. And then, yes, Jalen Hurts in the third round.
Hey, look, but you agree. Does he not fit the Gruden mentality? Don't you think that, like, out of every quarterback that's out there, he's perfect for Gruden? All right. Let's get it on to Dallas then.
Hey, I love talking about my boys, right? So, Dallas Cowboys, where we been at? Hey, there you go,
Billy. Gotta represent.
It's been known that defense does win championships. It really does, right? I mean, you can name all the past Super Bowls, at least in the past. Well, how about we just named the Patriots for the 6 of the past 20? And they've always been known for they had Tom Brady. He's a good quarterback, but really, it's always been since we've been growing up, right? Defense wins championships, and I think our offense has been known to win a lot of games. When we have a great offensive line, we have a star wide receiver, we have the top paid. Well, actually, not anymore, right? The guy from Panthers, oh boy, the highest paid running back in the league. But we had Zeke before, right? We have Dak Prescott. I know he can get it done. He just needs defense, right? Offense ain't no problem. It's all about the defense. We're able to edge rushers. We lost some edge rushers. We lost Byron Jones, our cornerback. I need a strong safety, someone who's going to knock the heck out of anybody who's coming across the middle. I need that ball back. I need a quarterback who can get interceptions, who can lock down some sort of Cowboys island. That's what I need. I want defense. With that first pick in the first round, give me that dude from Alabama, McKinney. I hope he's there. If it's not him, I want my LSU guy who's ball hawking. I need one of those two guys. What do you guys think?
I have to agree with you. I think defense, 110%. If Jamal Adams, if they can't get a deal with Jamal Adams, I really hope that Xavier McKinney will be there, with the 17th pick, because, like our secondary is really struggling now that Byron Jones is gone. Jeff Heath, he wasn't always the greatest, but he was at least consistent. He's not there anymore. He's with the Las Vegas Raiders. So we just need some rebuilding on the secondary, and I think if Xavier McKinney's there, we would be stupid to pass him up.
All right, so I agree with you guys. I'm right there with you. Defense. Problem is, I don't think McKinney's still going to be there come 17th pick. All right. I think the two needs that they really need, they got to have a cornerback and they got to have a tight end. Like that's their two ones, right? I think tight end, they'll take care of that in the second round. I'm looking at probably Cole Kemet from Notre Dame, Bryce Hopkins from Purdue, or my boy that I cannot pronounce his name. I'm not even going to disrespect you by even trying. It's tight end from Mizzou. He's a big boy. He can push through. I think that's second round. But for the 17th pick, I've got Jeff Gladney, cornerback out of TCU, going to the Cowboys. Local boy, just going to move a few feet over, and make a new home.
I can get behind that. I can might be a little biased, being from TCU, but I wouldn't be upset with having Jeff Gladney. Like he was incredible, always breaking up passes and everything. So if McKinney was gone and Jeff Gladney was there, I think that'd be a good pick for the Cowboys.
If there's one thing TCU does right, it's defense. I don't think anyone can dispute the defense that TCU consistently produces. Sometimes we have a little bit, right now we got a quarterback, switching through quarterbacks. Okay, so you're going to have problems with the offense. But when's the last time you really had a huge issue on the defense?
Yeah, I mean, that just goes back to Gary Patterson, just always bringing up defenses, defensive-minded coaching, that's second to none. They're always first and second in every category in the Big 12. So, I mean, he'll definitely be coached right, and I think that'll be a great pick for Cowboys if McKinney isn't there. Any team that gets Gladney is going to be really it's going to be good for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'll tell you, because you guys are talking about my Cowboys, right? It's always about the defense. So I'm telling you, right, if we don't get Xavier McKinney, imagine all those guys are gone. I mean, I want even the dude from LSU, the edge rusher, Kasion, that we were talking about, right? If he's happened to be there, because we got rid of Quinn, right? Yeah. Robert Quinn, right? Dude, I love Robert Quinn. Why didn't we pay him the money? He deserves that. That dude was one of my favorite. I was about to get his jersey. That's how much I like that guy. And now he's gone. Where you go? Raiders? Let me guess, because everybody's going to the Raiders right now.
No, he's on the Chicago Bears.
Oh my guys! You know how many sacks he's gonna get with the Bears? He's probably gonna get 20 sacks right now. He's a beast. And the Bears are – watch out for the Bears, by the way. Off topic. Those Bears are – if they can just get that quarterback situation – God damn.
I think they might be in the market for a quarterback too. I mean, I like their boy, but it's just – I don't know if the coaches don't have confidence in him. I don't know if he doesn't have confidence in himself. But, I mean, they pulled in a veteran – I forget who it was they pulled in. They pulled in a veteran off the free market. I think it was Miracle Man ended up winning the championships for the Eagles. I can't think of his name right now.
No, I think it was Case Keenum they got.
No, they didn't get Case Keenum. It was
did they pick up Nick Foles?
Nick Foles, that's who it was. They picked up Nick Foles to challenge him and really push him. Right? They're not expecting Nick Foles to get out there and throw footballs. They're expecting Nick Foles to be someone that can really help build this guy's confidence. But if he doesn't, they're going to need a quarterback too.
Hey, side topic, Nick Foles from Texas, by the way. I don't know if you know. But let's round out this Dallas Cowboys because we can talk all night about the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm going to surprise you, Cliff. I'm gonna surprise you. What we also need, and if all my guys are gone, Chaseon, McKinney, what's my ball hawking LSU safety? I forget his name. If he's gone, we know who I really want, and I fucking hate to say it. It irks me, but Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, again, he's just gonna be coming in from right up the road. If nothing else, he's going to sell some jerseys.
Nah, yeah. I mean, because our Van Der Esch, right, he's had some injury issues. So we definitely need to make sure we have somebody back there. So, I mean, I've seen him play in college. Kenneth Murray's the real deal. He's going to make –
Yeah, I could see that.
He had a great junior season. And rounding it out, how with the NFL draft, they have Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the NFL draft. So I thought it'd be cool just to have like Mr. 32, the last pick that we think is going to be in the first round. So right now out of the back, Mr. 32, I have Trevon Diggs out of Alabama. He's a cornerback.
Alabama got to finish it off. That's one of those. Kansas City, is it the Chiefs?
Yeah, it's the Chiefs picks currently.
Do you think the Chiefs are going to pick? Are they going to be the one that's there? Are they going to do they need anybody?
They're going to get some, like, I can really see them going on the defense side or running back, maybe someone on the O-line. It's just a matter of who's still there at the end, though. Like, I think there's definitely going to be some people pushed over to the second round, but it's like, if you're the Chiefs, who do you really want? They did have issues with the running back situation, and they had a three-headed monster at the end, and they were still – they made it work. Don't get me wrong. I like those boys, but I think they could change it up on running back, but I don't really see them going there. So where I ended up putting them is, if he's there, Zach Baum, linebacker, Wisconsin. And my next pick, if he's not there, I'm right there with Billy, Trevon Diggs, cornerback, Alabama, gonna head his way to another championship.
That's the thing, man. You got Patrick Mahomes. He's about to be the highest paid player in NFL history. You need to protect him. So if there's somebody there at that last pick, either from one of those Wisconsin, them Notre Dames, them Alabamas, them guys who protect quarterbacks, some big hog mollies, I would think it's going to round out with one of those meats that you can throw on the line, protect your.
Okay, how about this name then? Cesar Ruiz from Michigan.
Is he a big hog molly that's going to protect Patty?
Oh yeah, he is. He's a big boy. He can push him around. He'd be on the O-line. I think I could see them going there.
Yeah, you got to protect you. Man, you're about to spend the most money ever in the history of football.
Yeah, you got to make 42 million or something like that. Some crazy amount of money.
It's going to be dumb stupid. But yeah, I do like the fact that you guys are thinking about running back. You got all running backs who going to win you a lot of games, but you got to protect your asset, and that's Patty Mahomes. So think about him first.
Yep. Well, sports fans, we really appreciate you sticking with us through this whole thing. Make sure you tune in tomorrow after the draft wraps up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do another one of these, and we're going to do a recap of the first round, see what really happened, see how many times Mike got it wrong and I got it right.
That Jalen versus Jalen. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the Jalen versus Jalen's going to be
I
it.
think we definitely have a few bets off this one. All right, fans, have a good one. We'll see you later.
See ya.